today we covered it on our weekly modular recap live streams. We covered that CeeLo was one of the biggest L1s in the previous cycle. They're now going to deploy their own optimistic rollup on the OP stack. So they're going to go from L1 to L2. Lisk is another one from the ICO era,
right,
that has taken this route. So I think generally, yes, that we'll see more and more of that. I think from a developer's perspective, you get the ability to access the EVM tooling and the Ethereum community and all the infrastructure that's been built around that. You don't have to fight for your own economic security. You're just able to inherit the economic security of Ethereum. And generally, you get a lot of network effects, like using ETH for gas. And you kind of, if you're a rollup, you get access to all these other rollups within the space where, if some of these rollups continue to grow, there's likely going to be downstream effects of TVL, of users onto other rollups within the Ethereum space. Now, on the contrary to that, I actually think from a developer experience perspective, building rollups outside of the EVM is going to be more advantageous. I believe that the Solidity code and the programming flaws of the EVM have become more and more apparent, and that solutions like some of the next gen VMs or alternative virtual machines, the innovations happening at the execution layer from some of the bigger names out there, Movement Labs, Cartesi, Fluent,
right.
Fuel, and so on, Cairo VM, even from Starknet. These will bring in more developers from a programming language perspective, where programmers can come on and build programs in Rust, TypeScript, JavaScript, C++, other languages which aren't Solidity, Move, that have a developer base that's not necessarily non-crypto native. So I'm pretty excited about the idea of onboarding non-crypto native developers to Ethereum rollups, but not necessarily needing to use the EVM to do so. From a security perspective, from a developer onboarding and understanding perspective, as well as like a performance perspective. I think for users, we will want to operate on chain in a parallel execution based environment. We will want to operate on chain in an environment which has high throughput, something like that is equatable to Solana and the SVM, right? Eclipse is working on something cool there. So I think generally, like, we're excited about that. And that is going to bring the next kind of wave of developer onboarding, in our opinion, to the Ethereum ecosystem. So while I think there's a lot of people that are really excited about Ethereum rollups using EVM, I generally don't think that we need many more general purpose EVM L2s. I think we need tons more app chains, whether they choose to use EVM or not, as well as more general purpose and app specific non-EVM or alternative VM rollups to come into the space to kind of take Ethereum scaling to the next level.
Nope. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think you have touched a nerve, and I think we see Movement Labs as one of the exciting piece, and then in fact they are now launching their own layer 2. So the way I see it, is pretty much on the same track as what you're saying. That Ethereum will become one large decentralized ecosystem where you can derive economic security, you can derive decentralization from the Ethereum chain, but then you'll have lots and lots of independence to whether it be on the components we have already touched upon, but as on the programming layer, whatever limitations have been, I think the modularity is actually playing a major role here, because now you can actually plug and play the best of components and create something which solves or which aligns very well to your use case. Some of the use cases do require high throughput, low gas, some of the payment customers that we have. Now for them, or gaming customers for that matter, they do require either gasless transactions because they don't have the luxury to charge their customers, right? So they want the gas fee to be actually very low. They want the high transaction throughput, and they want more innovation on the user experience side. How we can bring whether it be social logins or Web3 auth or all those account abstraction and so on and so forth. So yeah, so I think innovations happening in the programming language side will again help bring in more and more developers, reduce the friction of learning a new language. They can actually start coding. And I think Lisk itself, I used to follow Lisp during the 2017-18 times, and I was very interested because they, I think, introduced the concept of using TypeScript or JavaScript for their smart contract. It was pretty exciting, and at the same time, Rust, as we know, is doing wonders because being more nearer to machine language, I think, makes it very faster. The smart contracts are faster, and the whole concept of move making the language more secure as compared to Solidity, where there are a lot of challenges and a lot of hacks, etc., have happened in the smart contracts. I think this is pretty interesting to seeing a lot of innovations happening across different modules or components of the blockchain stack.